Welcome back. I'm Ryan, known as Nickel Guy 88, and I am documenting my journey to complete the 1938 through 1961 Jefferson Nickels set. In this journey, I am attempting to go through 10,000 nickels, that's $500 of face value, every week trying to complete this set. I finally hit the 200,000 nickels searched milestone. In these hunts, not only will I be documenting the 1938 through 1959 Jefferson nickels that I find, but also Buffalo nickels, Liberty nickels, any foreign coins that I find, and Canadian nickels. And onto this hunt. The first three boxes were absolutely fantastic. I found yet again another key date nickel, which was a 1938 San Francisco. I have now found three of those in 200,000 nickels. Still, though, I have yet to find the 1939 Denver and the 1943 Denver Silver War nickel. And you're going to hear me basically complaining throughout this entire episode. This 1939 Denver is starting to irritate me just a little bit. Uh, it makes no sense as to why I have not found it yet. I know it is a very tough nickel to find, but so is this 1938 San Francisco that I found another of, which I have now found three. In fact, of all the 30s key dates, which are the 38 and 39 Denver and San Francisco's, I have found multiples of all of them. I've yet to find a 39 Denver. Anyway, I will be continuing these hunts, hopefully at 10,000 nickels each week. I definitely plan on getting to 250,000, possibly 300,000. However, that timeline is going to start putting me around January of 2024, March of 2024. Uh, I do have other hobbies aside from this, mainly fishing. Uh, Definitely April, May, and June, fishing is going to take priority. So I am hoping to have all of this completed by then. But anyway, I've got some other good finds coming up. I found a very old Canadian nickel, two proof coin, the foreign coin, and even a black beauty, which I don't think I have talked about on this. It's one of the rarer of the black beauties. But feel free to leave a comment below with any questions that you have. Like, share, and subscribe to follow along as I continue to complete this. Well, I have finally reached it. 200,000 Jefferson Nickels searched. It was not that bad of a hunt. The first three boxes, absolutely killer. The last two, however, definitely had been picked through. Uh, First three, four boxes, I got four Silver War nickels. This was a unique box. This was box number four. I found a Buffalo, a 39 Philadelphia, a 50 Philadelphia, and a foreign coin. That was it. This Buffalo it looks like it was polished on someone's workbench. Uh, there's no date, there's no mint mark. I'm not even going to nicodate it. It's almost like it's made out of chrome. This, however, was a welcome addition. A 1956 Canadian nickel. This is now only the second pre 1982 Canadian nickel that I have found in 200,000 nickels. The other one that I recently found, it was around 175,000. Pretty difficult to find. These are 99.9% nickel, which the Canadian Mint began to reclaim in 1982. They had a huge project. So these are fairly scarce in circulation. Also got some impaired proofs. These all came out of the same box. These are actually in back-to-back rolls. Got an 89. Not in terrible shape. The other one was really nice looking, though. A 1979. So these are also not very common. Also got a pair, or excuse me, I got three 2009s. I did get a key date. I believe it's this one right here. It is 1938 San Francisco. Very difficult nickel to find. This is now the third one that I have found. There it is. There's the S. And you'll hear my frustration throughout this video. I need a 1939D. For whatever reason, I just cannot find it. So I'm going to keep going at this project till at least 250,000. I'm going to start to really consider if I should even continue going. Anyway, let's get this totaled up. Almost forgot I had some honorable mentions out of this hunt. Not really sure what you want to call this, Jefferson. Some nice machining work done on that. No, it does not weigh to weight. Also, this was the foreign coin that I got. I guess it's a British penny from 1999. Still kind of just amazes me, these foreign coins that pop up out of these nickels. And there's enough of them that, I mean, there's a decent number of these things in circulation. And these, I had my hopes up. So I've already found a 1950D, but I don't have one that's like circulated. The one that I found certainly came out of someone's set. So I see these, you flip them over, nothing in either spot. Same thing goes with these 1939 Philadelphias. I've now found over 109 of them. All I want to see is the Denver Mint mark, and there's nothing. And then also, I don't think I've ever mentioned these in my videos. This one isn't the best example. These are what they call black beauties. The metal, something was it was annealed improperly, so they've got more of like a darkish hue to them. I guess the best way to do it would be to put a different nickel next to it. So you can see the one on the right, it's just got a darker shade to it. It's really all it is. It's still got the luster to it. I mean, it's in pretty good shape. So it's definitely not a dirty coin. Alright. Let's see if we got any upgrades or updates. We got one upgrade for the Blue Jefferson book. That would be that Black Beauty that I found. Common year, 1954 Philadelphia. But the coin looks a heck of a lot better than the one that's already in there. The Canadian book, my goodness, made leaps and bounds. The old one that I found from 1956, well, it's older than when the book begins. The book begins in 1965. So, I don't know. We'll figure out a spot for her at some point. Finally filled this spot for 1991. This was a low mintage year. Finally got one. Not sure when I'm going to find one of these near sixes. Or is it the far six? Should probably look a little bit more into that. Also got a 2001P. Surprisingly, it's the more common one. I've had some trouble finding it instead of the 2001. Got this 1952 through 2002 P Golden Julebee. Anyway, that one's in there. We got a 2005. And then over here, the book stops at 2013, but we got a 2021. That's where we're at. 200,000 nickels. Hoo-wee. I'm going to definitely do this for another 50,000, and then I'm going to reevaluate. You can see the original, or the second series that I've begun for the Jeffersons. I need the exact same ones as I do for the first book, with the addition of the 1950D. There it is. Found that in my first box of nickels ever, and I thought this was going to be the easiest book to complete. Here we are, 200,000 nickels later. This 1939D, where are you? It's frustrating me. It shouldn't be that hard to find. This one, I'll find it at some point. I know it's out there. Anyway, let's check out the grand totals. And here they are. The grand total of all the nickels that I have found out of 200,000 nickels searched. Again, uh, I have this color coded. Blue represents key date nickels. Anything that's gray, those are silver war nickels for 35% silver. Green, semi key date nickels. Anything that's black, those nickels do not exist. They were never made. And if you look up towards the top, where the 1938, 1939 are, and you see the Denver column for the D, it's still a zero in the 1939. Again, it's really frustrating me. Why have I not found this? I sound like a broken record, but if you look right next to it, you will see that I have found 109 of the 1939 Philadelphias. That means 109 times I have found this coin. I flip it over. There's no mint mark. The disappointment just further ensues. I have got to be getting close, but we'll see. There's only one way to find out. Off to the right, I've got some fun facts I've put together. Total boxes searched. It's 100 boxes. I've searched well over a ton of nickels, 5,000 rolls, $10,000 face value of nickels. The average number of Jeffersons per box, these are what I call finds. These are Jefferson nickels between the years 1938 and 1959. So on average, there's 2,000 nickels in a box. Only 25 of them are nickels that belong to this series. And then I have some averages. On average, right now, it takes a little over 4,500 nickels searched before I find a buffalo. Liberty nickels, I still anticipate this average to increase. It's about one in every 50,000 nickels. Liberty nickels are the nickels before the buffalo nickel. It's been 6 weeks now since I found my last Liberty, which is also tied for the record of the longest stretch that I've went without finding one. So I'll be curious to see if I find one, another Liberty nickel in the next week or two out of the next 10 or 20,000 nickels. And then the silver war nickel average, you've got that one. It takes about 3,100 nickels before you find one. Total hours spent searching. This column only includes the actual physical time that I'm searching these nickels. I average about 75 minutes per box. This time does not include the time that I spend picking this mess up, taking the nickels back to the bank, making these videos. This is just raw searching time. And then below that, just some oddball numbers down here. So if you were to take a nickel, lay it down flat, and make a straight line with it, it's almost 14,000 feet long of nickels that I've searched so far, well over 2.5 miles. If you were to stack them up in the boxes that they come in, it's a little over 8 cubic feet of nickels. Uh, for you metric guys out there, it's over 233 liters of nickels. So anyway, this is the chart. Out of all these nickels, 326 of them have been Canadian, 21 foreign. Got 44 buffalo nickels, believe it or not, and 64 silver war nickels. Right now, the melt value on a silver war nickel is around $1.21. It's a little over $77 of silver that I've pulled out of this. So anyway, it's kind of a neat little chart when you really start looking at it, and it's only going to continue to grow. Here is the key date nickel that I found out of this latest batch of 10,000, which is a 1938 San Francisco. As noted, this is the third one of these coins that I have found out of 200,000 nickels. It's in pretty good shape. The other two that I already have are a little bit better, but hey, I will gladly take this to the collection. It's not like you find this one every day. Here's a nickel that you don't see every day. Well, in a sense, I found 46 of these. This is a 1954 Philadelphia. However, what makes this one unique is it is considered a black beauty. I've not talked about these coins as of yet. I found a handful of them. But you'll notice this nickel has a rich, deep tone to it, dark, hence the name Black Beauty. These were error coins in a sense. They only exist in the 50s. The metal that these coins are made out of, I believe they call them planchets when they're rolled out and they're getting kind of flat. They were overcooked and they make this very dark color to them. It's not environmental damage. That can be confirmed just by the condition of the coin. In person, this thing looks way better. Uh, This is the first one I've seen in several thousand. It's maybe 50,000 since I found my last one. But just felt like documenting it for the series. Here's a nickel that I don't find very often, or at least this type. This is what they call an impaired proof. I found two of these. I believe it was a 1989, and then the one that's here in the photo. This is a 1979. These nickels were not intended for circulation. These came in mint sets. Uh, Folks buy them for little stocking stuffers or gifts. They come with a 50-cent coin or a half dollar, if you will, quarter, the nickel, the dime, and the penny. Somehow this thing got busted out of one of these sets, spent, and it wound up in circulation. I don't have the numbers because I haven't been keeping track of how few I find of these, but I believe I've only found 8 or 9 out of 200,000. So it's been several tens of thousands since I found uh, any of these. And I happen to find 2 out of this latest batch of 10,000. Here's a nickel I was mildly excited to find. This is a 1956 Canadian nickel. Now, what's so special about this? Well, this is only the second nickel that I found from Canada that's older than 1982. Now, it's not like they barely minted any of these things. They minted millions and millions and millions of all of these. However, in 1982, the Canadian Mint decided to reclaim all these old nickels because they were 99.9% pure nickel and replace them with the common clad coins, which are 75% copper, 25% nickel. I didn't find my first pre 1982 Canadian nickel until a couple weeks ago at around 175,000 nickels searched. It was a 1976, I believe. So, welcome addition to the collection. It's definitely not something you see very often. Uh, Funny thing is the book that I have for the older Canadian nickels. Well, it only goes back to like 1965, so I don't even have really a spot to put this. So, for the time being, I guess it's just going to sit in my safe. Here was the foreign coin that I found out of this batch of 10,000. It's a 1999 British one penny. I have never found British one penny before. Thought it was kind of funny that it was in a box of nickels. But when I cracked open this roll and I saw the dark edge on the rim, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it wasn't your typical American penny, but pulled it out. There it is. To go in the foreign coin album with all the other dozens that I have found throughout my life. Here's the last coin we're going to talk about. Uh, who did this? I got a mild chuckle out of this. Someone shaved off Jefferson's face on the one side of the coin, but I mean, nicely done, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching. 200,000 nickels. Golly. Already got another 10,000 on order for next week. Around the week of Christmas, I'm going to hit 250,000 nickels searched. I have no idea if I'm going to find 39D or the 43D. I really would like to find one more 1950 Denver. I found one in my very first box when I started all this back in 2015. Zero appreciation of what I had found. It certainly came out of someone's collection. It's in a mint like status. My memory of it's kind of foggy, but I remember it was literally in the first couple of rolls. And I thought, oh, that's an old one. Put it in the folder after I got done. Uh, Never really paid much attention to it until this year when I finally decided to hammer this down and try and complete this set. And that's when I realized, holy shnikes, I found one of these. Because if you're not aware, I'm just going to go ahead and put up a picture of the 1950 Denver on here. And here it is. This is the 1950 Denver that I found so long ago, back in February of 2015. Now, a little bit of history on this coin. It is next to impossible to find this in circulation. This is the most uncirculated circulated coin, probably in all of the coins ever minted in the United States. Late 40s and the 1950s, coin roll hunting or coin collecting in general became very popular in the United States. And when word got out that the Denver Mint was only going to be minting 2.6 million of the 1950D, anyone who was able to get their hands on these was hoarding them. There's a story that there was a gentleman out of Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin. He got his hand on several hundreds of thousands of these nickels, hoarded them for decades, and would just sell them off at coin, coin shows. 10, 15, 20, even as high as $30 per nickel. And that was back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. The coin in perfect condition, even circulated condition, they're not worth much today. 10, $15. So it definitely didn't keep up with the rate of inflation. But this is the coin that really began almost my madness over this collection. I should have never found this, especially in my first box. Given the condition that it's in, it certainly came out of someone's collection. Uh, Almost as if it came out of someone's collection, it went into circulation, and I was the very next person that found it. I have found other coins for this series that are in just as good, if not almost as good condition, such as this 1947 Denver, which you see here on the left. It's in a mint-like state. It even has rainbow toning to it. And I've also got a 1960, a 61. I even have a 39 Philadelphia that I've found that's in similar, if not the same condition. So it can happen, but I really would like to find one more of these 1950 Denvers in a circulated state for the other book. But I've rambled long enough. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Otherwise, tune in next week for another 10,000 nickels as I continue this journey to complete this 1938 through 1961 Jefferson Nickels set.